How's that impression? So welcome back to another episode of Acura, and we're on our new project today in the Lake. So we are having a single story. I think it goes about, what, 4.5 metres? Yep. 4.5 metres, so it's quite a substantial single story extension, which is going to be good. And then we're also doing a patio as well, which is 36 metres. So this week and next going to be quite a lot on the groundwork. So what we're going to do, and you'll see this afternoon, the crane is going to take the digger over, and then we're going to be using the machine for a lot of the work. So foundations for the extension, and then obviously foundations for the dwarf wall. That's part of the landscaping works. So yeah, it's going to be a messy week, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a bit messy. Access is tight, but...
Yeah, and it's going to be a few piles of soil and all sorts on the front. So this week, and I always say to customers, it's kind of, this week and probably steel work is probably the worst weeks, isn't it?
Definitely.
Out of project. Carl and Woz have gone to that little repair job that I mentioned on Friday in Malpas. They're going to be there, hopefully going to get done today, and then they're going to be back here tomorrow. So that's what they're doing. So yeah, first job, me and Ben now, rip the flags up. That is the flags now removed. Now remove the beds. The crane has arrived. So if you've got bad access on every extensions, just think you can always get a crane.
We've got our Callum and Warren back with us today.
Yeah.
You know, as you've seen, Anthony did a bit yesterday with me. They were on another job.
Very surprised by that.
Yeah, he moaned, but it was good. So, footings, that's what we're on today. So the digger's here. We're going to set the laser up now, work out the ground height for the finished floor in the house, and then get cracking. We've just give the ground a little bit of a scrape off where the old patio was, just to clear a bit of most of the area of here, just to make things a little bit easier. So now we are going to start to dig the trenches for the footings.
So it's Tuesday and I'm back in the office this morning, just catching up with emails and whatnot, because I was on site yesterday. So the lads are starting the foundations there, the Lake. And yeah, it was pretty good watching that crane take that digger over yesterday. I've got to admit, the customer, when he was looking at that digger over his roof, he was like, he had to look away. So that's craned over, and yeah, the lads are ready to go today. So he mentioned when he was watching it go over yesterday that in the quotation stage, when he had a few builders, they basically turned their nose in and said, look, because the access is so terrible, we're not even going to look at it. And for me, I kind of like problems, so the access was always a problem, and the only solution was to get a crane. And as long as it's priced in, and you explain to the customer kind of like, look, the only option is to get a crane, and while we've got the crane on site, we can kind of use it for the steelwork and whatnot, then it kind of does make sense, and obviously that's probably one of the reasons why it did go for us. So yeah, that was all craned over yesterday, which is great, and then the crane is going to return later on in the week when the excavation work's done, and he's going to throw the steel beams over as well, which is handy. So I just had a phone call off Ben, which is not a really good phone call to have, that we started digging the straight footings and we're at 1.8 metres deep, which is 6 foot, and it's still, the ground was still terrible. So they were hitting clay at about 2 meters, and then after clay it just drops off, so it's soil and then just backfill like brick and slate. So if you have to go deeper, I think it's over 2 meters or 2.1. That's when you have to get it piled. Now, there's no way in hell you will find clay there anytime soon, so we have to go down the piling route, and it's the only route that we've got left. So how that works is Ben and lads now will dig like a strip footing, but with a spinal wall at 600 mil deep, like a shallow foundation dig. The piling lads will then come in, and they have this like machine, so it's like kind of like a borehole machine. They drill holes in and then insert. It's like a steel cylinder. They'll insert that down, and then they have this vibration tool that pushes it into the ground like a big corkscrew, if you want to call it. So they insert them every half a metre to a metre wide, depending on what the structural engineer report says. And then once they've been pumped in, all around the build, the perimeter and the spinal wall, a ring beam cage is then formed. So it's literally like a cage. So that's formed all the way around, and then that's mass filled with concrete. So it's like almost like a hovering slab, and then the concrete also goes down the piles. So it's all like pinned and then it's connected to that cage, so it's solid. That obviously comes with a cost, which is very dear. It's a dearest option doing foundation piling, and a lot of new build sites do it now. So you've probably seen it. They have big, massive piling machine, and you can hear it from a mile away as well. So that's our only option. So I've spent the last half an hour now ringing that piling company that we used. Probably about 2 years ago now. And they were really good. They come out within like 2 days. So hopefully, I'm just waiting for the price off him. Obviously, I need to speak to the customer in more detail and make sure he's happy. And then hopefully the job will only stop. Well, my lads will only come off the job for like 2 days. So what I'm guessing now is the next 2 days we will dig it, shallow foundation. We've got a bit of landscaping it to do there as well. So they'll dig out the dwarf wall footing while we've got the digger there. Then the piles will come in. I think last time it was 2 days or 3. 2 or 3 days. So that's to say it takes up to Monday next week. Then 3 days, then I've got to bring the lads off site. Which is a pain because I've got to try. We have got little bits I can send them here and there, but it's just one of them things that can't be helped. So yeah, that's the plan. So give me an hour or two and we'll see what the verdict is. So what an absolute day that was. I do like problems, but I feel like you've got to solve it instantly, especially when you run the business. So like I mentioned earlier, that job now has to go down the piling route. So discussed with Ben, go to 1.8, not in there, we're going to pile it. So he went there, he said, and no go. I'm straight on the phone to the piling company to see what the price is going to be, what the availability is. We got that quote back pretty quick, which is good. And how long it's going to take. So they're going to be coming now Thursday. Obviously, I had to speak to the clients to make sure they were happy. Obviously, that we're going to be going down that route as well. So they're booked in now for Thursday. And now the question is where my lad's going to go. Because when they come in, they're kind of going to be taking over the site. So the next question was, how long are they going to be on site for? So they said between 3 and 4 days. So that is going to be to pile it, ring beam it, and then mass fill it with concrete, ready for us to build the footings. So we do have little bits on jobs that we can go to. So we've got a repair wall in Malpas that Cal started yesterday. We have the wall in the Hool in Chester that needs cleaning off, and copings needs to go on. I don't think the copings are ready, but it can still all be cleaned down. We have Tarvin. There's a few last little bits to do there. So the cedar got delivered yesterday, the bits that we needed to order, so they can go on. The GRP edging just needs a little top coat still to go on there. And I think that's it, as far as I'm aware. Let me think. Yeah, and there's a job as well that we did last year in Upton, Chester. So all the jobs are pretty close together, which is good in Upton, Chester, where we put a soil pipe on the extension, and on the outside of it, all the fittings have failed. So I don't know where I got them fittings from, but the black 4-inch soil pipe fittings, and just each one has like a little slow drip coming out of them. We've even solvent welded them, and they're still leaking. So that's another job that needs to be done. So I'll buy them fittings probably tomorrow, and then that can be replaced. So it's one of them, like I say, we've sorted the solution out, getting the pallets in for that extension. But then my next problem is obviously keeping the lads in work, which luckily we have other little bits on. And I always try to keep them little jobs going in between extensions, which is good for us. So yeah, that's the plan for the rest of the week. And yeah, I'm absolutely shattered because, yeah, it's hard work, isn't it? Never ends. You feel like you're getting pulled in every direction. There's always problems. You feel sometimes that you're just putting fires out all day in business, and yeah, it's been one of them days. So yeah, I'm going to be picking a few bits up tomorrow, and then I'll be back in the office. See you then. So it's Wednesday, and I've just got to the office this morning, so I've had a bit of a run around this morning. I've been to Widnes, just to pick all the little bits up, ready for the lads to do like little odd jobs next 2 days. So that is now all picked up, ready to go. So Ben and lads obviously carrying on with the foundation this morning, doing a nice shallow footing, ready for the pilots to come tomorrow. And I'm obviously going to be in the office today, just getting all my emails done again. So I'll say the most difficult part of when you're doing extensions is running the first part of the job, because there's a lot of unknowns. So like we've had the ground here, you don't really know what it is until you do that very first test hole as soon as you start. As soon as you find that, whether you need to do a deep footing, strip footing, or it needs piling, from that then you can organise the rest of the job. So how much concrete you need, how many courses of blocks is it going to be in the foundation, is it going to be 2 trenches, is it going to be 1 trench, is it going to be 3 concrete block, is it going to be 5 brick, what else, the drainage as well, until you find it properly, and then test all the gullies to make sure if it is a combined system, you can obviously order the drainage to suit that. What else, grabs as well. Well, it's all organising deliveries as well. So at the very start of the job, you've got to contend with a crane here, but a crane, concrete wagons, brick merchants, and trying to get all that delivered on a narrow drive. So we've got a grab coming today, and then when that grab's gone, the foundation materials are arriving. So you need to just make sure everything kind of flows. If you have like 3 wagons set up at once, there's no space on the drive, what are you going to do then? So I'd say the very start of a job is you need to be the most organised and be able to be decision making like that constantly. As soon as you find that sand or clay in the ground, you need to be on it and get stuff ordered as soon as possible to keep the job flow right, especially through the foundation work. Ben's doing well there anyway. He's already ordered a grab ready for that material to come, and then he's going to try his best to do the patio dwarf wall foundation as well, so then we can arrange for the crane and the machine to be picked up tomorrow. But yeah, that's the plan for today, and like I say, it is always hardest part of the job as soon as you start, because you need to be on the ball constantly. But yeah, right, pass you over to Ben and see how he's getting on digging.
Checked. Ben's back in the digger. And it's basically a repeat of yesterday. Dig the footings, barrow it out. Dig the footings, barrow it out. Just, yeah, me and Warren on the barrows, shooting to the moon. See how we get on.
That's the footings now dug, finally. We're all glad to see the back of that. We've had to go down the route of piling it. So then it changes for us, and we just dig down 600 off the lowest point of ground level, laser it all around, get it all out, shutter off where we need for the drains, the new drains that are going to go in, ready for the pilers to turn up tomorrow, and then it's over to them really, and then they'll put the piles in, cage it, concrete it, and then...
Oh, they do all that?
Yeah,
Oh,
they do all that. So they'll be doing that starting tomorrow.
So it's Thursday and I've had a bit of running around to do this morning. So I've been to Hull, that garden wall that we completed last week, just to give it a good clean down. Some people know when you're laying red engineering brick, and if they are slightly damp, to get a few stains. So I've spent an hour this morning just getting that all brick acid off, so that's all nice and clean now. And we're just waiting for them copings to arrive. Well, waiting for the client to choose the coping she wants, and then waiting for them to arrive so we can install them. So red engineering guard walls, it's not something that we do often, and I wouldn't recommend doing it either, just because it doesn't look the best. We did that because the client had a side extension done prior to us building the garage, and that builder chose to use red engineers to kind of tie in with the house, but it doesn't look anything like the house. So obviously she's seen that, and then we've copied that on the garage with red engineers, building that in red engineers, and now we've copied it on the garden wall. So that's the reason that we've done it in red engineers. We wouldn't normally do it. We'll pick like a nice, you know, at that property there, because it's quite an old property, we'd have like a nice reclaim brick, like a Cheshire or like a Cassandra, something to, it would look really nice with something like that. But yes, that's cleaned off and ready for the copings. And then I've just been to the lathe sale, the lads are getting on. They're just finishing off, well no, they're starting to dig out the foundations for the dwarf wall. So we've got the extension, and then the client is having a 6x6 patio area, which has to be retained with a wall. So Ben and the lads are just finishing that dig off today, and the piling team have just arrived as well this morning. So they're going to start caging up. So yeah, it's all go there, and I don't like to mention the weather too much, but it's raining today, and digging foundations in the rain is probably one of the worst jobs, because the site just becomes a mud bath. Even on the front where we're piling up for the grab wagon, it's just mud everywhere, and it's just it's horrific. It's just horrible. So the sooner we get that done, the better. So the plan is the pilers are going to be there the next few days now, and they're going to mass fill the concrete on Tuesday, and then we're going to return back to start building the footings. So yeah, it's all go there. And then I've just come to Tarvin now. Matt is here starting his second fix, so he's going to do everything except the kitchen. So lights, switches, sockets, just to get some lights on the extension, because it must be dark at night for the client. It must be hard.
So believe it or not, the sun has come out. It's literally been raining all day here. And then right at the last 20 minutes, the sun decided to come out, so a bit annoying. But that's weather for you. So today, the pilers have been here, and they've put all their pile tubes in to the ground, ready for them to do the cages tomorrow. And then I think they're concreting that on Tuesday. So then we can come back on Wednesday and start building up. So whilst they've been doing the piling, we have been digging out the foundations, which run from there round here, a big pad here, and then up there, and that's going to be for a raised new patio. As you've seen obviously earlier in the week, there was a massive patio here already, but with the new extension it's getting brought forward and having a new porcelain patio here. So we've done all the walls, foundations there, dug out, big pad here for a set of stairs that's coming down onto the garden. So that's it for the digger work. There's a little bit of hand digging to be done, which you can't get it in. And then the crane is back first thing tomorrow to lift it up, take the digger away and put the steels in, bring them over the top and into the back garden ready for in a couple of weeks' time.
So I spent the last few hours in the office just catching up with emails and just organising little bits and bobs of work for Monday and Tuesday while waiting for the pilers to be done. And I've just had a lovely message this morning. So I always like to follow up with clients when I price a job, like a few weeks later, depending on the size of the job, just to see if they've got any questions or anything they're not sure about regarding the quote that we've done. And I had the fella come back to me today to say he's had 2 other quotes, which is fine. One under 20, one lower than me by 20 grand and the other one by 15 grand. I'm like, how's that even possible? So I've opened up the quote and you just can't do it for that. There's just no way you can do it for that. If you're using top tradesmen, then there's no way you can do it for that. Which it just infuriates me. So the government are slowly bringing in more legislation. And there has been talk about licensing builders. Well, I don't know about rest of tradesmen, but all I know is they're trying to license builders. So no one can just rack up to someone's house in a van and just do a load of work. It's all got to be licensed. And I think, don't get me wrong, there'd be more paperwork and all that, but it'll just push all that rubbish out of the industry. Which this is where the name of Cowboy Builders gets around, and it does my head in because it labels all builders in that way, and we're not all like that. It's just annoying. So once government bring that in, then they'll just push all the rubbish out. Who were just cowboys and just knocking up rubbish. So, Starmer, any chance, mate? So yeah, rant over. So I'm just going to spend the last 2 hours now of the day just make sure that the crane company are happy with coming back tomorrow, bring that digger back over the roof and getting the steels over as well. So now, because we've had to obviously go down the route of piling and digging the dwarf wall, there's not a lot of room now for the steels, but we're going to have to try and make room, because the whole point of me getting the steels there in the first place was to get them craned over, because I think the biggest steels in that job are 6.6 long by 250 mil high, which is heavy. So, and it's tight down its side as well, obviously the access. So the steels are going to be going over tomorrow as well, and then I'm going to be shooting to Malpas with Carl and Was, just see how they're getting on there. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow.
Yeah, hold it there. Yeah, so that's falling. Like to have
So it's Friday and it's one of them days where we're here, there and everywhere. So we've all just met up for our towing project, as you can see behind me, and we're just finishing a few little bits off here. So we've had Cal and Woz have been to Malpas this morning to finish that little repair job on that wall. Ben went to our Lage project this morning to meet the crane driver and just organise the steel to go over the back. So that's going to be ready to go probably Wednesday next week, after they've caged it and mass filled the footing. So we're going to return back here Monday just to carry on with the snagging. And yeah, it's just one of them days. I've spent about 3-4 hours in the car just driving around small bits of Malpas and the Lage. Now here, I've obviously been to the unit. It's just one of them days. So Carl and Ben are just finishing off the cedar and Was on the front just tidying up. So yeah, it's one of them days. So that's it for another week here at Acura. So lads, what we're on at the weekend, what we're doing?
chilling.
Getting a haircut tonight.
Doing a bit of work.
Look at Was is there. It's like a wave in it at the front.
Class, isn't it?
It's like it's been killed.
Get like a little surf.
No, you just does it
flying
itself.
down that.
So yeah, Was getting his haircut and playing Batman. What's Ben doing? Oh, he's married off.
Probably chilling. Go for a little hike somewhere, a little walk. The weather's alright. Yeah.
Carl's working.
Yeah.
Carl's addicted to working. What are you
I'm
doing,
fair.
Anthony?
Probably working, to be honest, yeah. Yeah, it's a sad life.
Like with a tool or with a pen and your laptop?
Working ahead.
Working,
All right,
Yeah. Saying I'm working, I put stuff on social media. I'm not really working, I'm just watching Netflix. Yeah. But
Oh,
anyway,
we've got a camera in the unit, mate. We know what goes on.
so well, thanks very much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.